At the 2024 South Indian International Movie Awards, SIIMA, Meghan Markle's arrival sparked intense reactions, as the audience's applause was unexpectedly interspersed with noticeable boos, catching both organizers and attendees off guard. Rather than a warm reception, Markle faced an atmosphere that was anything but welcoming, an outcome that raised significant questions about the evolving public perception of her persona. This response, resonating across social media and news platforms, seems to echo a shift in public sentiment, signaling growing disillusionment with Markle, who has often promoted herself as an advocate for various social causes. The SIIMA event, a celebration of South Indian cinema, became a focal point of critique for Markle's image as some in the public, including cultural critics, questioned her appearance at the event, perceiving it as a seemingly disconnected and perhaps inauthentic attempt to engage with a culture she is largely uninvolved with. The criticisms intensified as some commentators and attendees expressed confusion, wondering what connection Markle had with South Indian cinema and why she would be involved in the awards show. This cultural dissonance, coupled with allegations of performative activism, painted a complicated picture, one that highlights the broader scrutiny facing public figures who may appear to be prioritizing personal brand over genuine advocacy. Critics argue that this perceived prioritization of image over impact has become a defining characteristic of Markle's public persona. Many of her recent appearances have been scrutinized for being strategically staged to maintain her visibility in the public eye, rather than to meaningfully engage with issues at hand. The negative reception at SIIMA may be symptomatic of what some describe as celebrity privilege, where Markle's actions are viewed as more self-promotional than as sincere efforts to foster change. This perception of privilege was underscored by her lavish lifestyle, widely publicized luxury attire, and high-profile media appearances, which for some detract from her claims of commitment to humanitarian causes. In fact, Meghan Markle's engagement at SIIMA contrasts sharply with previous criticisms she has faced on other high-profile occasions. For instance, during a recent women's leadership event, Markle was reportedly criticized for her choice of expensive attire, which some found inappropriate given the socioeconomic context of the host country. Observers pointed to her apparent lack of sensitivity and awareness, suggesting a focus on self-presentation over genuine empathy. This incident further underlines the increasing disapproval of celebrities who, according to some critics, treat social issues as backdrops for personal gain rather than as causes for genuine support and awareness. This series of high-profile incidents has intensified calls for authenticity in public activism. As people become increasingly aware of the impact of performative actions, many have begun to expect a deeper level of engagement from public figures, demanding transparency, accountability, and a clear alignment of actions with professed values. Markle's critics argue that her activism lacks these qualities, portraying her actions as superficial and disconnected from the communities she purports to represent. Some attendees at the SIIMA event voiced similar concerns, questioning whether her involvement reflected an earnest interest in South Indian cinema or simply another step in a broader public relations strategy aimed at maintaining her celebrity status. As the boos at SIIMA continue to reverberate in the public dialogue, analysts suggest this may be a defining moment for Meghan Markle's public image. The widespread reaction highlights a growing scrutiny of celebrity figures who use platforms of influence but are perceived to lack depth and authenticity. For Markle, the incident represents a potential turning point, one that may compel her to rethink how she engages with the public. The message from critics and fans alike is clear. Public admiration for activists is increasingly tied to perceived sincerity, not just fame. For Markle, adapting to this shift may mean reevaluating her approach and aligning her public appearances more closely with her professed values. The SIIMA incident underscores the risks celebrities face when they engage in unfamiliar contexts without an apparent or meaningful connection. In the case of Meghan Markle, the backlash suggests that her current strategy may not resonate as intended and could further alienate audiences unless she pivots toward a more grounded, culturally sensitive approach to her public advocacy. The cultural expectations placed on celebrities are evolving rapidly, and in an age of increasing awareness, audiences are holding figures like Markle to a higher standard of accountability. As public expectations continue to rise, the message from SIIMA and beyond seems to be one of urgency. Actions must match words, and advocacy must reflect genuine investment in the causes championed. For Meghan Markle, the path forward may be to embrace a more authentic, less image-driven approach, to reconnect with a public that is growing increasingly skeptical of celebrity activism rooted in self-promotion rather than societal impact.